she discovered her sister was beating their elderly mother in secret, so she turned her in and had that woman sent to jail. In a residential neighborhood in Chicago, where autumn evenings came early, Emily Harris gazed at the fall foliage in her garden through the kitchen window, savoring her feelings of gratitude toward her mother. Thinking of her mother, Dorothy's gentle smile warmed her heart. Until 6 months ago, her mother had lived alone in a small apartment, but after suffering a mild heart attack, she had moved into an upscale senior living facility called Sunnybrook Manor, at the family's recommendation. "Mom is really lucky," said her husband Michael, placing his hand on Emily's shoulder as he returned from work. As an internist, he was a kind man who always put his patients first. "Jennifer looks after her almost every day. We can only visit on weekends." Emily turned and smiled at her husband. "That's absolutely true. I'm so grateful to her. Even though she must be busy with work, she stops by every day after work." Emily's sister, Jennifer, was an accountant and single. She was responsible and always put family first. It was Jennifer who had researched various facilities when their mother needed to move to Sunnybrook Manor, finding the place with the best conditions. "Jennifer is truly devoted," Michael said as he loosened his tie. "When I saw Mom last week, she was so happy talking about how Jennifer comes every day so I'm not lonely." Emily's heart warmed. Her mother loved reading and was always interested in learning new things. Sunnybrook Manor was rich in cultural programs that suited her mother's personality. "I talked to Mom on the phone yesterday, and she said she's joining a book club at the facility and taking painting classes," Emily continued as she prepared dinner. "She seems to have made new friends too, and she sounded really happy." However, lately, Emily had been noticing a faint weariness in her mother's voice. Their phone conversations had become shorter than before, and she often said, "I get tired easily these days." Her appetite seemed to have decreased a bit, and she appeared to have lost some weight. "But lately, Mom seems a little less energetic," Emily said with concern. "That's just age," Michael answered gently. "When you get older, it's natural for your energy to decline. The doctor at Sunnybrook Manor examines her regularly and said there are no particular problems. Indeed, the facility's doctor had diagnosed her mother's health as appropriate for her age with no particular issues during regular checkups. Jennifer also said Mom needs professional care and recommended life at the facility." Emily trusted her sister's judgment. "You're right. Since my sister checks on her every day, we'd know immediately if there were any problems." After dinner, Emily and Michael discussed their mother's upcoming birthday. "I want to make it a special day," Emily said excitedly. "Let's order Mom's favorite chocolate cake and have a party at the facility." "Great idea," Michael replied with a smile. "Let's talk to Jennifer about it too." The next day, Emily called Jennifer. "What do you think about Mom's birthday party? What a wonderful idea." Jennifer's voice was bright and cheerful. "Let's make it the best day for Mom. I'll arrange my work schedule and definitely attend." Jennifer always put their mother first. Emily realized how blessed she was to be surrounded by such a wonderful family. Her husband Michael treasured her mother like his own son would, and her sister Jennifer devotedly cared for their mother. "I'm so grateful to have you, sis." Emily was truly thankful. "I couldn't have entrusted Mom's care with such peace of mind if I were alone." "We're family, of course," Jennifer laughed. "Mom is our treasure, so I want to do everything I can for her." After hanging up, Emily felt a renewed sense of the deep bonds of her family. Her mother's birthday would surely become a wonderful memory. As long as Michael and Jennifer were there, her mother would be surrounded by love and happiness. One morning, a week before her mother's birthday, Emily called Sunnybrook Manor before work to get permission for the party at the facility. "Good morning, Sunnybrook Manor." The receptionist's voice was bright and friendly. "Good morning, this is Emily, Dorothy Williams' daughter. We'd like to have a small party in her room next Friday for her birthday." Of course, the receptionist responded warmly. "We know your mother well. Jennifer comes almost every day. Your mother is blessed to have such wonderful daughters." Emily's heart warmed. Even the facility staff recognized Jennifer's devoted attitude. "Thank you. We'd like to start around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Would that be possible?" "Yes, that's fine. You can also use the activity room, and we can arrange meals in the room. Please don't hesitate to let us know if you have any requests." After hanging up, Emily ordered a cake during her work break. When she called a local bakery that made her mother's favorite chocolate cake, the owner, Mrs. Johnson, kindly assisted her. "Since my mother loves reading, could you make it in the shape of a book?" "What a lovely idea. I'll make the chocolate cake in the shape of a book." Emily hung up satisfied. Imagining her mother's delighted face made her heart leap with joy. That evening, Emily and Michael went shopping for a present. Since her mother had mentioned that her presbyopia was getting worse, they chose a high-quality magnifying glass for reading. It had a beautifully decorated silver handle that should suit her mother's refined taste. "Mom will be delighted," Michael said, holding the wrapped box. "With this, she can enjoy reading again." "Yes, Mom was always saying sadly that my eyes are getting worse, so my reading time has gotten shorter," Emily replied happily. The next evening, Emily called Jennifer. "Sis, how are the party preparations going?" "Perfect." Jennifer's voice was excited. "I ordered 20 white roses, Mom's favorite flowers. And I collected photos of Mom from when she was young and made a photo album." "That's amazing. Mom will absolutely love it." Emily was moved. "We prepared the cake and magnifying glass. Perfect. I think Mom will be really happy." After hanging up, Emily was once again moved by her sister's deep thoughtfulness. Despite being busy with work, she was putting her heart into preparations for their mother. Thursday afternoon, Emily called her mother. "Mom, how are you feeling?" "Emily, thank you. I'm fine." Her mother's voice was calm, but seemed a little tired. "Jennifer came yesterday too. She's such a kind daughter, and I'm blessed." "Yes, I'm really grateful to Sis." Emily smiled. "Tomorrow is a special day. Look forward to it." "Thank you, Emily. I'm looking forward to seeing you and Michael." Her mother's conversations had been getting shorter lately, but considering her age, that was natural. Emily hung up, feeling the love in her mother's voice. Friday morning, Emily and Michael finished work a little early and went to pick up the cake. The cake Mrs. Johnson had made exceeded expectations and really looked like a book. "Your mother will surely be delighted," Mrs. Johnson said proudly. At 1 o'clock, Emily and Michael arrived at Sunnybrook Manor. At the reception, Activity Director Brenda Kelly was waiting. She always treated residents' families kindly. Brenda greeted them with a warm smile. "It's your mother's special day. We staff members also hope your mother spends it happily." "Thank you. We're truly grateful that Mother is being cared for here." Emily was genuinely thankful. "Your mother is truly wonderful. She's always polite and loved by the other residents." Brenda continued, "And Jennifer's devoted love moves U.S. staff members too. She comes to check on your mother almost every day, and your mother is truly happy." Emily's heart warmed. Even the professional staff recognized Jennifer's love. On the way to her mother's room, Emily was once again impressed by the facility's clean and bright atmosphere. Beautiful paintings hung in the hallways, and residents could be seen chatting. It seemed to be music therapy time, as piano melodies could be heard from somewhere. "Mom is really living in a good environment," Emily said to Michael. "Yes, since Jennifer chose this facility, it can't be wrong." Michael nodded. She chose it with Mom's safety and comfort as the top priority. When they reached her mother's room, they could hear Jennifer's bright laughter from inside. When Emily knocked on the door, Jennifer appeared. "Emily, Michael, thank you for coming." Jennifer greeted them with a joyful expression. Mom was looking forward to it too. Entering the room, their mother was sitting on the bed, smiling. Around her, the white roses Jennifer had prepared were beautifully arranged. "Emily, Michael." Their mother reached out her hands happily. "Thank you for coming." Emily ran to her mother and embraced her gently. "Happy birthday, Mom," Emily said with all her heart. "Thank you, Emily. With you all here, I'm truly happy." Tears glistened in her mother's eyes. Jennifer had beautifully decorated the room. Photos and message cards were posted on the walls, making it seem like a special space filled with family love. "Sis, thank you for the wonderful preparations," Emily said with gratitude. "We're family, of course," Jennifer smiled. "Mom's happiness is our happiness." Just then, Brenda entered the room. "Everyone, how are the preparations?" she asked kindly. "Please don't hesitate to ask if there's anything we can help with." "Thank you. Thanks to you, we've made perfect preparations," Emily answered. "What a wonderful family." Brenda smiled warmly. "Your mother is truly loved." Emily was filled with happiness. Surrounded by her beloved family, she could celebrate her mother's birthday. There could be no greater happiness than this. Looking at her mother's smile, Emily was truly grateful. The room was enveloped in a warm atmosphere filled with love. "Well then, shall we look at the cake?" Jennifer suggested happily. Her face showed the proud expression of a devoted daughter. Emily carefully opened the cake box. The chocolate cake Mrs. Johnson had made was truly beautiful, really shaped like a book. "Happy birthday." Dorothy was written in gold letters like the binding of her mother's favorite classic literature. "Oh, how lovely." Her mother's eyes sparkled. "It's shaped like a book. You understand me so well. It's perfect for you, Mom, who loves reading." Emily smiled. "I hope you'll continue to read many wonderful books." Jennifer stood up to take photos. "I have to record this moment," she said while holding her camera. "Mom, smile!" Her mother smiled peacefully. That expression showed the deep happiness of being surrounded by family. Emily once again realized how blessed their family was. "Michael, could you give Mom the cake?" Emily asked her husband. Michael accepted the cake with a gentle smile. As a doctor, he always approached their mother with the same warm attitude he showed his patients. "Happy birthday, Dorothy," Michael said with all his heart. Their mother was moved to tears. Michael placed the cake on her lap and lovingly embraced her shoulders. It was a warm moment that confirmed family bonds. That's when it happened. Michael's expression suddenly changed. His smile froze and his face turned pale. His hands stiffened on their mother's shoulders, and shock appeared in his eyes. "Michael!" Emily noticed the change in her husband's demeanor. "What's wrong?" Michael didn't answer. His fingers moved carefully over their mother's shoulders. His physician's hands seemed to be confirming something. "Michael, what's wrong?" Jennifer also asked with concern. "Is something wrong with Mom?" Michael suddenly stood up. The movement contained an unusual hurriedness unlike his usual self. "Emily," his voice was low and trembling. "Let's step outside for a moment." "But we're in the middle of the party." Emily was confused. "Mom's cake right now." Michael's voice had a strong will that brooked no argument. "Emily, step outside right now." Emily was surprised by her husband's serious expression. She had never seen Michael, who was used to emergencies as a doctor, this agitated. "Mom, we'll step out for a moment," Emily said to her mother. "We'll be right back." Her mother nodded worriedly. Jennifer also watched them leave with an anxious expression. Michael grabbed Emily's hand and pulled her from the room toward the hallway like he was dragging her. Avoiding the hallway where other residents and staff might pass, he walked to an unpopulated stairway landing. "Michael, what on earth?" Emily was confused. "We're getting Mom out of here right now." Michael's voice was shaking. Cold sweat beaded on his forehead. "What are you talking about?" Emily couldn't understand her husband's words. "Mom is living happily here. Jennifer takes care of her every day. Emily, listen to me." Michael gripped his wife's shoulders. "When I touched Mom's back, I felt something abnormal." "Abnormal? What? Didn't you feel anything when you touched her back?" Michael's voice shook even more. "Those hard, lump-like things." Emily shook her head. "I wasn't sure, but they say your spine curves as you get older." Michael took a deep breath. As a doctor, he was about to make the diagnosis he most feared. "Emily, those are..." His voice was almost a whisper. "Those are traces of fractures, and not just once or twice, multiple times." Emily felt like her heart stopped. "Fractures? But Mom hasn't fallen or anything. Not fractures from falls." Michael's eyes mixed anger and sadness. "Those positions, those shapes are clearly man-made." "Man-made means..." Emily's voice trembled. "Emily," Michael looked at his wife. His eyes showed the pain of having to convey an unwanted truth as both a doctor and a son. "Those are injuries from violence. Evidence that someone deliberately hurt Mom." Emily's world collapsed. Her knees shook and she had to lean against the hallway wall to stay standing. "That's..." Her voice was hoarse. "That can't be. This is an upscale facility. All the staff are kind. It might be staff. Or..." Michael choked on his words. "It might be someone much closer." At that moment, various memories resurfaced in Emily's mind. Her mother's recent fatigue, short phone conversations, weight loss, and Jennifer's presence visiting the facility almost daily. "You don't mean..." Emily said in a trembling voice. "My sister. But she's so devoted." "Medical facts don't change," Michael said painfully. "Mom is receiving ongoing violence, and it's not recent. It's been continuing for at least several months." Emily leaned against the wall and slowly sank to the floor. Had everything she believed been a lie, that her beloved sister had been violent toward their gentle mother? Emily's voice was choked with tears. We didn't notice anything. Michael knelt beside his wife. As a doctor, I should have noticed earlier too. I thought Mom's health changes were just aging. Emily broke down crying, her beloved family, her trusted sister, the facility she had confidently entrusted her mother to. Everything had been an illusion. Let's contact the police right away, Michael stood up, and get Mom out of here. Emily covered her face with trembling hands. In her mother's room, Jennifer was probably continuing to play the devoted daughter, and their mother, knowing nothing, was probably expressing gratitude to the person who was hurting her. Mom, Emily whispered voicelessly. I'm sorry, we didn't know anything. Michael gently supported Emily as she continued to cry while sitting on the stairway landing. His composure as a doctor was beginning to return, but his anger remained. Emily, let me explain in detail, so please listen. Michael held his wife's hand. Mom's back has multiple old fracture marks, the 3rd and 5th ribs, and the lower part of the shoulder blade. Emily looked up at her husband while wiping her tears. How do you know that's from violence? The position and angle of the fractures are the problem, Michael began explaining professionally. If they were from falls or accidents, they would be more irregular with damage to other parts too. But in Mom's case, there are traces as if pressure was deliberately applied from behind. When did this start? Emily's voice trembled. Judging by the bone healing, I think the first fracture was about 3 months ago, and the most recent one is about 2 weeks old, Michael continued painfully. This means she's been receiving ongoing violence. In Emily's mind, the timeline was being organized. 3 months ago was when their mother had settled into Sunnybrook Manor, and it was when Jennifer had started visiting almost daily. But I don't understand why my sister would do such things. Emily was confused. She loves Mom. Now isn't the time for speculation. Michael stood up. First, we need to contact the police and move Mom to a safe place. Michael took out his cell phone and called 911. Yes, I'd like to report an emergency. I suspect elder abuse at Sunnybrook Manor Nursing Home. After hanging up, Michael said to Emily, the police will arrive within 30 minutes. Until then, it's better not to take Mom out of the room. We need to preserve evidence. But Jennifer is still in the room. Emily trembled with fear. Isn't Mom in danger? She'll be fine. She won't do anything in public. Instead, she'll probably continue playing the perfect daughter now. 20 minutes later, the police arrived. Veteran female detective Sarah Thompson and a young male officer appeared. You're Dr. Michael Harris? Detective Thompson said while receiving his business card. Please tell me the detailed situation. Michael explained their mother's physical condition in detail as a doctor. Detective Thompson listened intently. I see. We've handled several cases like this. The detective nodded. Elder abuse by family members is unfortunately not uncommon, especially when money is involved. Money? Emily was surprised. Most elder abuse cases are motivated by pensions or inheritance. First, let's check your mother's bank accounts. Then, we'll check the facility's security camera footage. An hour later, truth after truth was revealed. Detective Thompson returned with a serious expression and reported, We checked Dorothy Williams's bank account. Over the past 3 months, approximately $300,000 has been illegally withdrawn. Emily was stunned. $300,000? The withdrawals were made by Jennifer Williams, who holds your mother's power of attorney. She was withdrawing large amounts almost weekly. When was the power of attorney created? Emily was confused. 3 months ago. Right after your mother moved here. Michael's face contorted with anger. So, it was planned. There's more bad news, the detective continued. We checked the facility's security camera footage and found multiple instances of Jennifer Williams being violent toward your mother recorded. Emily leaned against the wall. The reality she didn't want to believe was presented as evidence. And one more thing, the detective's expression became even more serious. The facility's activity director, Brenda Kelly, also appears to have been complicit. Brenda? Emily was surprised. That kind-seeming woman? She was receiving $5,000 monthly from Jennifer Williams. In return, she was covering up the abuse and arranging for other staff not to notice. Michael clenched his fists. So it was organized crime. Exactly. Jennifer Williams was systematically abusing your mother for her assets, and Brenda Kelly was covering it up. Just then, hurried footsteps could be heard from down the hallway. Jennifer was coming to look for Emily and the others. "Emily, Michael, where are you? Mom is worried." Jennifer's voice was still playing the devoted daughter. However, hearing that voice, Emily's heart no longer held affection, but only disgust. Detective Thompson signaled to her subordinate, "We're arresting Jennifer Williams and Brenda Kelly." When Jennifer appeared around the corner, her face showed confusion and concern. However, the moment she saw the police officers, that expression froze. "Jennifer Williams, you're under arrest for elder abuse, fraud, and embezzlement." "What are you talking about?" Jennifer tried to continue her act. "I'm taking care of my mother. Emily, what's happening?" Emily stared at Jennifer. Her sister, 7 years older, the sister she had relied on since childhood, to think that person had been hurting their beloved mother for money. "Sis." Emily's voice was cold. "Why?" Jennifer's mask began to peel away bit by bit. "I didn't do anything. Do you have evidence?" "Everything is recorded on security cameras," Detective Thompson said calmly. "We've also confirmed all bank records." At that moment, Jennifer's expression completely changed. The mask of the devoted daughter was completely removed, revealing her cold, true nature. "That old woman was just hoarding money," Jennifer spat. "Even though I was taking care of her, she showed no gratitude. So, I just put that money to good use." Emily was speechless. Was this her sister's true face? "How could you hurt Mom?" Emily said in a trembling voice. "Why?" "Because she wouldn't quietly do what she was told. Even after signing the power of attorney, that woman kept trying to call the bank and do other unnecessary things." Michael stepped forward. "Stop it. I won't allow you to hurt Mom anymore." A police officer handcuffed Jennifer. At the same time, another officer brought Brenda in. "I don't know anything." Brenda was shouting, "I just received money." Emily understood everything. The family she had trusted, the facility staff she had relied on. Everything had been lies to deceive and hurt her mother. "How can I explain this to Mom?" Emily said while crying. "We have to tell her the truth." Michael embraced his wife and promised, "We'll protect her." When Jennifer was being led away, she turned back to look at Emily. In her eyes, there was no longer love, only hatred. "You don't understand anything," Jennifer said coldly. "Do you know how much I sacrificed for that woman?" Emily didn't answer. She was no longer someone she could call sister. Even with blood ties, relationships without love are not family. When returning to their mother's room, Emily took a deep breath. She would have to tell her mother the truth now, and she would have to vow to protect her mother with true love. 6 months later, peaceful sunlight streamed into the living room of Emily's home. Mother Dorothy, sitting on the sofa, was reading a book using the magnifying glass Michael had given her. Her body was gradually recovering, and her emotional wounds were slowly healing. "Mom, would you like some tea?" Emily brought warm black tea. "Thank you, Emily." Her mother smiled peacefully. "Is Michael still at the hospital?" "Yes, but he'll be home soon. He said he could leave early today." Taking their mother into Emily and Michael's home was a natural choice. After receiving treatment at a trustworthy medical facility, their mother expressed her wish to be with family. Emily and Michael gladly welcomed her and prepared a room for her on the first floor. The court verdict shocked society. Jennifer received an 8-year prison sentence for fraud and assault. Brenda received 5 years for conspiracy. The damage amounted to about $500,000, and other residents' families at Sunnybrook Manor also filed complaints. "Mom," Emily sat beside her mother. "Do you resent Jennifer?" Her mother thought for a moment before answering. "Rather than resent, I'm sad. I can't understand why she chose that path. But after all those terrible things she did to you, Emily, hatred only makes us suffer." Her mother took her daughter's hand. "Instead, I'm happy now that I can feel true family love." Just then, the sound of the front door opening could be heard. Michael's bright voice rang out. "I'm home! Mom, how are you feeling?" Her mother's face lit up. "Michael, welcome home. When you come back, this house feels complete." Michael kissed her mother's cheek. Though not blood-related, his affection was deeper than a biological son's. "Today, I met an interesting patient at the hospital," Michael began. An 80-year-old grandmother said, Family isn't about blood ties, it's about heart connections. Emily and her mother looked at each other and smiled. That's exactly right, her mother said. Jennifer was my daughter, but there was no love. But Michael, though we're not blood related, treasures me like a real mother. At dinner time, the three gathered around the table. Her mother laughed more than before, and her appetite had returned. Days spent in a secure environment surrounded by loved ones were healing her heart. By the way, Michael said happily, next month is our 5th wedding anniversary, so let's celebrate with Mom, too. How lovely! Her mother's eyes sparkled. I'd like to help with something, too. That night, after their mother had gone to sleep, Emily and Michael talked in the living room. Mom has really gotten better, Emily felt relieved. Yes, it really makes me realize how important a loving environment is. Michael held his wife's hand. We made the right choice. Meanwhile, Jennifer in prison was spending lonely days. No one came to visit, and when she wrote letters, no replies came. The price of betraying family for money was far heavier than she had imagined. Brenda also had her nursing license revoked and couldn't find a new job. The weight of her complicity had completely changed her life. However, in Emily's home, every day was filled with love and laughter. Her mother enjoyed tending the garden flowers, and Emily cooked with her mother when she returned from work on weekends. Michael would go for walks with her mother. What is true family? Emily wrote in her diary. I learned that it's not blood ties, but hearts that care for and support each other. Jennifer was my sister, but not family. On the other hand, Michael isn't blood related, but is a true son to Mother. On a spring evening, the three were looking at the flowers their mother had planted in the garden. I'm happy, her mother said quietly, to be able to spend such peaceful days surrounded by true family. Emily and Michael supported their mother from both sides. Here was unconditional love and mutual support that transcended blood relationships. That was the true form of family.